Yes, yes. We have got Cait Alexander all the way in Istanbul right now. How's it going?
It is 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm really glad that this is a radio interview.
Yeah, you don't have to go anywhere.
I don't have to get ready for anything, so this is super. I'm super excited. Thanks for waking me up.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Good morning. Good night. I'm not too sure, but hi.
It's that weird middle of the nighttime where you're not sure if it's morning or if it's night, or people are still partying and some people are getting up for their morning run. So it's the odd hour of the day. But yeah, no, happy to be here.
Nice. You're out in Istanbul now. So what's that like being all the way out there? Yeah, I know you're from originally around this area, right?
Yeah, well, I was born in Guelph actually, but I've been all over the world. I was in Cape Town earlier this year working, and then I went to India, and I flew from Mumbai to here. It's my, I guess, second time in Istanbul. I had a layover flight once upon a time in Istanbul, and it's a big culture shock from where I was coming from in India. I'm definitely adjusting back into Western culture. That's always the fun part, leaving that country. But Istanbul, it's beautiful. The weather is really nice. There's not a lot of English speakers here, so it's a bit of an adjustment. And I don't speak any Turkish, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
But you can get around it, and it's a really safe and beautiful city, and work is fantastic here. So I'm happy.
That's good. I see all your posts all the time, posting all the stuff that you're doing out there, and it seems like you're having a good time. I was just talking with one of my friends the other day who traveled to Turkey. Not too sure if she went to Istanbul, but she was just explaining that it's pretty much like the most beautiful place that she's been in the world. And I was like, okay, I need to make my way out there.
Okay, well, it depends on what you have to compare it to. Cape Town for me is like where my heart just, I will always go back to Cape Town. Istanbul has the water is absolutely beautiful. There's a river here that, you can go and have an amazing brunch on. The history is just fantastic and like so rich and so deep behind the city. So with the Ottoman Empire and everything like that. But it's definitely a place, anyone can come and check out. So, yeah.
I'm just Googling pictures right now just to have a reference myself to see like what it looks like. But yeah, Cape Town is definitely trumping Istanbul pictures right now. Holy, yeah, it looks beautiful.
Cape Town is paradise. Honestly, I was so blessed to work there in February and March. I adore the place. I adore Africa. I adore people. The people there, their hearts are, you can just feel it as soon as you land. It's like an electric vibe that you get from the city. There's a Table Mountain there that just sort of like keeps the pulse with everyone. It's where the Indian Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean meet, and my goodness, like the Atlantic side's freezing, but the Indian side is just a beautiful, beautiful water to swim in. It's breathtaking. So
looks very nice.
But Istanbul, yeah.
Yeah, I just recently got back from going to Europe and visiting like southern France and Cannes and Monaco, and like just I'd never been to places like that before, and I'm just blown away. Like you see the movies and stuff, and I can see these pictures online. It gives you like an idea, but nothing's the same as like actually being there and witnessing it. You're like, wow, there's places this beautiful in the world. It's amazing.
Well, untouched, the untouched parts of the world, the old history, the buildings here are older than Canada. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like Canada's such a young and such a new country, and we don't realize how young it is until we come and explore these historical countries that have, 2,000-year-old history and people, and where everything basically started, for humanity. So it's quite fantastic to absorb that and just to, see how people, you can actually hear it's Ramadan right now. Happy Ramadan to everyone out there. I don't know how many people celebrating are listening right now, but you can hear all these, I don't know if you can hear in the background.
Yeah, I heard that, yeah.
Some music playing through, so I apologize for that, but it's actually outside. So yeah, that's what's happening right now religiously here, and in the Muslim culture all over the world. So it's it's exciting to see they're not eating. But it's been a good cultural shock and experience here. Like I said, they're a lot different than just the history. Toronto, especially where I guess I live. I don't know.
You live in the world right now.
I live in the world right now. I'm truly a world citizen. Toronto is, it's an incredibly beautiful and amazing city to live in and to be a part of. But it's like you don't get the, I remember being a kid and traveling through Germany or traveling through, the southern Algarve in Portugal, and just absolutely, you're blown away. You can feel how, feel tradition. And that's still such a huge part of the Turkish culture here. They've preserved it very well, actually. And it's an amazing thing to watch. It's a hard thing to plug yourself into if you're not a part of it. But it's an amazing thing to respect and to watch the new world meet the old traditions. So.
Yeah, no, it's a beautiful place, and just from looking at it here in the pictures and stuff, and I can imagine just like the cultural difference from what it was when you were over here in Guelph or in Toronto, which I wanted to talk about that a little bit, like the genesis of how you kind of got into what you're doing now. I know there's a lot of girls, even girls that I know around the area and stuff, that are slowly getting into modeling or doing a few photo shoots here and there. And a lot of them want to take it to the level that you're at, right? But they don't really know exactly how to do that. And we've had a prior interview where we touched on it a little bit, but I want to just go back, if you can, a little bit with me and talk about kind of like your beginnings and where you started in getting into modeling and how you've got the opportunity to travel to so many places that you are now.
Well, in one word or in one person's name, my management, Peggy Lepage, based in Toronto, she literally is, I would not have this career or this life without her. She honestly has given me everything and backed me since the day that we met. I had been doing a little bit of work in Toronto and in the Guelph area where I did my first photo shoot actually as well. And it wasn't until that I met her that my international career really took off, and it has now expanded into some of the. I won't name names until I'm actually in those places. We'll do another interview when I'm there, but expanded into the biggest fashion capitals of the world now. And Peggy has been completely 100% responsible for managing my contracts. And so for everyone, starting out or interested in the industry at all, the most important thing is finding the quality people and being with reputable representation and working with people that share your vision but also have the connections and also are really there for you, because it's not as much as it is. It's super glamorous. I guess traveling all over the world, and it's amazing and it's super fun. But it can be incredibly dangerous, and it can be a lot of the times you don't know what's happening, and there's huge language barriers, and there's huge culture shocks, and there's, adaptations that need to be made, and you need to be working with people who you trust and who are there for you when things get a little bit, interesting. That is my, and I think I said this before, that is my one thing that I'll always stand by, is finding quality people in the industry and asking questions, and if you need something, saying it. It's simple nowadays to submit your portfolio, or even agencies don't even really want to see professional photos, to be honest. They just want digital. They just want to see who you are. I know the biggest agency in the world, IMG, who's they represent, the top models across the world, and they are scouting on Instagram. They did a huge campaign or event, and they started to find girls on Instagram and to take girls off of the internet. The technology has opened up doors in the modeling and entertainment industry in ways that people who never had the opportunity now have access to everyone. And in some ways, it's really amazing if it's all the right people getting together. It makes things faster, makes turnaround faster, makes everyone able to find exactly what they're looking for. Your clients can find exactly the type of person that they're looking for to fulfill their campaign. But it also brings in a lot of not the people who want to exploit the industry, and the people who want to be in the industry for the wrong reasons, and that makes people who are not as educated in the business, or who are more vulnerable in the business, that makes them susceptible to those types of people. So always ask questions, always, if someone has, and it goes for any industry.
Yeah, it's a big correlation, especially for music. Like, there's a lot of untrained people out there just starting out, and there's people that will take advantage of you if you don't really know your P's and Q's and do your research. It's like that in any business. If someone has something that you aspire to, then ask them, because obviously success leaves clues, and if they've done it, then they probably know the steps and know the right people to get there, if they're already living the type of life that you want. And so ask. And that's something my mother taught me. My mother is an amazing woman, and has always, of course, she's my mom, so she's going to care about me, but she's always, caring about my career in that way, and always been like, hey, she'll ask 50 questions. Even now, I'll be like, hey, Mom, this, and she'll be like, all right, this, and I'm like, oh my gosh, but it's protection. I get the same.
And only the, yeah, exactly. So it's because I don't want to see anything bad happen to you. And you know what, if you're working, why would you want to see anything? There's no sense in wasting your time with people who aren't in it for the right reasons, because it doesn't get you anywhere. Selling hopes and dreams is just not. It's not good, and it doesn't benefit anyone. So for all of you, those out there who are trying to do the wrong thing, don't do the wrong thing. Do the right thing.
Yes, you shady. Oh, I want to go off on that, because I've met a few of them, those ones that are out there trying to sell hopes and dreams, and then once those dreams get broken because they've now really screwed over a young person's career out of a lot of money, or put them in a bad position, it's like, it can really affect that person for the rest of their career. And somebody who really would have took off, they got, stifled because of somebody out there trying to sell them a false dream. And it happens all the time. So to those people, yeah, definitely just stop it, or just crawl in a hole and just go away. Just do not be a part of this world, this industry, or change your ways, and find the right reasons. But I want to ask you to touch on that a little bit, because you were saying like, oh, when things get interesting, kind of led me to believe that there might be a few stories behind that you've had to deal with, of like people that were in it for the wrong reasons, and you ended up put in a position that I don't know, either made you feel uncomfortable or just something that you didn't want to be in. Is there any examples or any stories that you have of things of that nature?
I've been relatively fortunate that, extremely fortunate that relatively mostly everyone that I've worked with has been professional, because I am with, professional agencies, and I am represented by, the best people in Canada. But there's been, as adapting to any culture, there's been, interesting situations with, I guess, police officers, or certain things. There's certain cultural things that you don't understand. Within the industry, though, it's been instilled in me to ask questions, and then I always, especially working in developing nations and different markets. I get pinged with messages every single day about this and that film, about this and that work, and this and that photo shoot, this and that, and I always just direct it back to my agents, and I always just, say, hey, deal with this. Even within the agency, there's been moments where some people will try and sell a project for what it is or what it isn't. For something that it's not, I'm meant to say. And but then you talk amongst a group, and you always ask, never go in blind, never go in alone. And if you feel uncomfortable talking to someone that you trust about it, that's a good sign that situation is probably not something that you should be in anyway. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so, you can feel it.
You can feel it. Something just kind of goes, this is off. And we need to trust our gut feelings, especially in the way the pace of the world now, right? So, and good people tend to hang out together. That's another thing, because they only want to work, and they only want to do good work, and everything else that doesn't even exist in their peripheral vision. So, it's good people hang out together. If you meet good people, if you get one good person, they generally have a circle of other good people. I even had a producer friend who I met in Cape Town, who I was working with in India. I called him and I said, I don't know a soul in Istanbul. I want to meet some music people. I want to meet some, creative people. And he, gave me a list of, a very popular musician here, a fashion editor here. And I met those people, and it was like, good people hang out together even across the world. So to speak on any, ill experiences, I'm sure there's been a lot of little things, but I don't focus on them, so they don't really exist anymore. If something gets a little seedy or a little weird, I just kind of back out and I'm gone. It's not, I don't get involved in those types of situations. So I steer clear. So touch wood, nothing terrible has ever happened. I don't think anything terrible will either anymore. So it's good.
No, you're with good people, and that's good to have them, being able to screen any project that comes your way. You can just be like, here, check it out, see if it's legit. If it's legit, then let's do it. If not, then move on.
Exactly. Well, then move on, and that's the thing. Don't hang on. People try and get revenge, and I've seen, girls try and get vengeful and things like that against And I understand you need to, people, justice needs to be served, but a lot of people, you waste a lot of energy chasing people back for those things instead of just pushing forward in your own life and how to do better. You don't serve anybody if you don't serve the world if you're not at your best. So giving your energy to negativity is just not something that's worth your time.
No.
So that's my advice. And
I like it. And even just what you were saying about the art of asking that friend, linking you up with the people in Istanbul, and what you were saying earlier about just the art of asking. It's so key to just, birds of a feather flock together, good people hang out together, and, if you get plugged in, you can get all those people. I remember one time I was planning a tour out to the east coast of Canada with Mocha, and I had nobody on the east coast. I had no connects there, and I hit up one of my buddies that I knew, Ghetto Socks, and he hit me back with an email with like 10 or 13 different contacts in all the cities that he knew out on the East Coast, and I ended up booking like 3 or 4 shows off of it. So it was like, and I'll always remember him for that, like being a solid dude, and I'm always going to be open to help out anybody if they're asking me questions like that too. Like, here's some contacts here, I can help you out in this and that and this and that, because what goes around comes around, and just being good and trying to create a network of people around you that are focused on the same thing that you are it's very important in this industry, or in any industry.
Well, and it's not a friendly business, they say there's no friends in the game. There's no friends in the game. There are no friends. It's not people want to get ahead and they want to do things, but I find it better, when we support each other and when you're there for each other. Everyone's unique and everyone has something different to offer. And I always stand by the adage: if you don't, maybe you're not, meant to be a star musician or meant to be a star model or meant to be whatever, but you find a different, area in production that you excel at actually better, so that's the kind of camaraderie. And when everyone supports each other, it feels good. It actually gets things done, and it produces better work than if there's a lot of animosity going around and a lot of jealousy and a lot of people trying to tear each other down. It's just one of those, it just makes life better. So the competition is competition, but it should be friendly competition. It shouldn't be backstabbing, raring competition. But the friendliest of competition. Yeah,
the competition that makes you better at what you do. That's the best form, but not the one that you're tearing down your opponent.
That's the no one should die. No one should, there should be no police involved in any of this. You should keep it simple and keep it healthy. Peace
be the journey, people. Understand? That's what it is. All right, I don't want to keep you too long. I know it's like very, very late in the evening for you now. So
it's got to be 3:30 in the morning, and I've got to get up and go to a meeting at like 9 o'clock. So I will call this sayonara and head back to bed, I think. But I really thank you so much for reminding me today. You're like, hey, I've got an interview. I'm like, okay, 3 a.m., no problem. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
No, always, no issues. Anything for the home crew, because I don't. Not like I'm ever there, but this is that. Guelph gave me, that's where I was born. So it's super important to honor that and always remember where you came from. So
definitely. Thank
you so much, Robbie.
No problem. And I hope our paths cross in the future, either over there in Europe or when you're back home.
Who knows? I won't tell you the schedule. You don't want to know. It's a little bit too crazy, but let's see what happens.
All right, sounds good. You have fun on your adventures, and thank you so much for taking the time to do this.
All right, awesome. Thank you. Good night.
Good night.